Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to the Cardone Solutions Podcast. I'm your host of the Cardone Solutions Podcast, David Bradley, training facilitator and coach with Grant Cardone, bringing you weekly sales solutions, tips, strategies, and attitude adjustments from the 10X world of Grant Cardone. Now, today is Wednesday, which means what? It means it's time for the Wednesday word. That's right. So on Wednesdays, what we're going to do, we're going to crack open the dictionary. I'm going to pull a success-themed word out of that dictionary, and I'm going to break it down for you. We're going to look at the definition of the word, the meaning of the word, the etymology of the word. Where did it come from? And then most importantly, how do we take this word and then plug it into our sales and our business and our life? First lesson I learned from Grant Cardone, the first one. Selling is a conversation, and power comes from the words that you use. So let's make sure that the words you and we are using are impactful, that we know what they mean, we know what to do with them, and we know how to use them correctly in our sales, in our business, and our life. Now, today, also the hashtag Wednesday Wisdom. So that's the other thing. What kind of wisdom, thank you for reminding me, by the way, what kind of wisdom can we pull out of these words? Okay, so today's word, very interesting. Today's word is not the actual band itself, but it is the answer to the question of the rock band. And they even have a song that they ask the question. Who are you? Who are you? What makes you you? When did you first come into being? Where? Donde? Where are you? How are you? Today, we're going to look at all of that. Today's word, self. That's right. Not I-E, just self. Self is today's word. Self, that word in and of itself is a noun, it's an adjective, and it's a verb. Yeah, all of those things in one shot. Can you believe it? So let's look at the definition of each one. The definition of self as a noun. Here we go. A person's essential being that distinguishes them from others, especially considered as the object of introspection or reflexive action. Quote unquote, our alienation from our true selves. Our true self. That which makes you you. The adjective, meaning the description of a trimming or cover of the same material and color as the rest of the item. A dress with self-belt, if we're using that in a sentence. Verb, to self, comes from botany, meaning flowers and plants and stuff. Self, pollinate, self-fertilize. Okay, so think about that for a second and how it could apply to you. Don't get weird. Okay, a variety that, here's me using it in a sentence, a variety that selfs itself loses lots of vigor in the progeny. Again, don't get weird. Okay, etymology, history of the word. Where did it come from? Old English, self. There was an O in there at one point, S-E-O-L-F, or a Y, believe it or not, S-Y-L-F, self. One's own person. Think about it. One's own person. Here's a quote. Okay, here's a quote. Trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth. That's attributed to Alan Watts. So the first thing I want you to do with that is, do you agree with that statement? Trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? Because that will have a huge impact on what you do with the word self. And so with that in mind, let me allow us to give you an action idea. We do have some questions to answer. Remember how we started today. Who are you? These are your questions to answer. If you're taking notes, write this down. Get a pen, get a paper, get a notepad. Who are you? What makes you you? How did you, the you that you are now, become you? Did you make decisions? Were you educated? Were you taught things? Did you have experiences and then make those decisions? So who are you? What makes you you? When did you first come into being? You know, my good friend Wayne Dyer defines self as being an infinite being, you, having a temporary human experience. So with that being said, when did you first come into being? With the Big Bang? At the point of conception? Remember the first two questions. Who are you? What makes you you? When did you first come into being? When did you show up? Are you even here yet? Where are you? Are you here? Are you creating a future? Are you in the future? Are you stuck in the past? Where are you at? What time is it? It's now, if you're wondering. How are you? Yeah, I mean, seriously, like, how are you? How are you? Maybe we should do the word how as a Wednesday word. Go look that word up. How? Before even answering that question. Do you know the meaning of those words? Who? What? When? Where? How? Man, they're so simple words, but man, sometimes it's the simplest ones that throw everything off. So as you go into, now I want you to spend some real time on this. This is the Wednesday word. We're looking for the wisdom. So when you go in to answer these questions, I want to offer you, since we're doing wisdom, I'd like to offer you the following quote that comes from the great poet Rumi, which I first heard from my good buddy Wayne Dyer. You ready for this? As you go in to answer, who are you? What makes you you? When did you first come into being? Where are you? How are you? Okay. Here's the quote. Because I'm not really feeling it with this trying to define yourself as like trying to bite your own teeth. I think I think it would be recognized as a male bovine and some excrement, if you want my opinion on that. Okay, so here's the quote from Rumi, which I think is a lot more closer to the reality of the situation. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. One more time. You are not the ocean. You are not a drop in the ocean. Excuse me. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. And this has been your Wednesday word. Think about that for a second. The entire ocean in a drop, and that is you. So as you go on to put a real definition, really define your self, make sure you include and factor in the fact that how much energy is in the ocean, any ocean, how much energy is in there, how much power is in there, and that is all in you. Infinite being, temporary human experience, divinity, it's yours. The entire ocean in a drop. Here's a drop. Be the ocean today and be great. Nothing else pays.